This is the new 8849 hike, and this is built for extreme adventures. Hi everyone, this is JD, your gadget review friend. Welcome, and welcome back to Gadget Rev Now. There's so many big battery phones in the market. Some of them has different gimmicks with projector or dual screen, and even big speakers, and some are a bit expensive just because of their brand name. But what if we have a rugged phone that doesn't have all these gimmicks, will give you straight up rugged build and long-lasting battery life that won't break the bank? Today we're partnering with 8849 to review their 8849 hike. Is this phone worth it? Let's start with the elephant in the room, which is the build, because normally when you have a big battery rugged phone, the first question is how big is this phone? So this is like a typical Tank 2 or Tank 3 Pro. The only difference here is instead of the projector on top of the phone, you will have super flashlight, which we will test later. This phone weighs around almost 0.7 kilograms. This phone is a combination of metal, plastic, and rubber. I find that the body is a little slippery because of the metal parts. I wish they copied the design of Tank 4 Pro, which is a bit heavy on rubber. That's why it's a bit sticky on the grip while holding. At the back, you will have a big or huge camping light, and on top of it, you will have a loudspeaker. And on top of that, we got a triple camera setup with LED flashlight. On one side, you have the power button and the intake fan. We also have the infrared light for the remote control. On the other side, you have everything from the SIM tray, volume buttons, and function buttons. It is also color-coded, so it's nice. And at the bottom, you will have a microphone and a charging port and a 3.5mm headphone jack. In front, you will have a large screen with punch hole camera module. It's a big display, although the screen protection is not advertised, but the phone is IP68 waterproof, scratch-proof, and dust-proof. Now, still in the conversation of the front screen, it's a 6.78-inch screen. Again, there's no mention of the technology, but looking at the blacks, I think it's an LCD screen. It has 1080p resolution with 120Hz refresh rate. The panel is very bright even outdoors. You can see the screen even in direct sunlight. The colors are popping out and the texts are very crisp. Also, there's no mention of screen protection, but there's an additional screen protector on the package and also one installed, so I think you're protected even with those wild adventures. Talking about performance, this is a really good mid-range phone. It has a lot of horsepower under its hood. It's running on MediaTek Dimensity G200. It's a very capable mid-range processor that powers those budget mid-range phones like Infinix Hot 60 Pro and Tecno Spark 40 Pro Plus. This phone features MediaTek Hyper Engine technology for a more efficient and long-lasting gaming session. It can also support 200-megapixel camera and support for HDR video quality, as well as higher refresh rate on the screen, which we've discussed earlier. This phone also has a combination of 12 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage. If you like to save a lot of movies and music on your smartphone, then you may do so. I play games like PUBG and Mobile Legends, and the phone is running on high settings and high graphics. And obviously with that huge battery capacity, you can play longer hours on this phone. It stutters a bit sometimes, and there's also some hiccups reloading apps. If you're reopening huge apps like games, tendency is it may reload. Now, in terms of network connectivity, it runs on 2G, 3G, and also 4G LTE. There's no 5G connectivity on this phone, but it supports 2 nano SIM and 1 micro SD card. There's no mention of the size, but normally on this day and age, you can probably put 1 terabyte on it. Still in the discussion of performance, this phone is running on Android 14 out of the box. Honestly, 8849 is not known to provide longer OS upgrade, but on my other 8849 rugged phones, they're receiving security patches from time to time. So I feel like this phone would also do the same. You have all the security features built into Android 14. If you navigate on the home screen, this is like a typical Pixel phone. Swiping left, you will have Google Cards. It has rectangular icons, and if you swipe down, you will have the toolbar similar to those on Pixel phones. Overall, the OS is familiar if you're using Android devices like Pixel phones or phones with Google AOSP, and with the combination of MediaTek Dimensity G200, 8849 hike performs really well. Now, the camera setup is pretty competitive too. At the back, you will see a huge camera module with 50-megapixel main sensor. This is a Sony IMX766 sensor, a 64-megapixel night vision camera, and an 8-megapixel 3x telephoto zoom. We also have 32-megapixel front-facing camera. Looking at the image quality, especially using the main sensor, it's very detailed. The colors are natural looking. There's not much AI stuff going on the images, and you will see images closer in real life. The 8-megapixel telephoto is okay. It's not the best I've seen on the mid-range phone, but it's usable. And the 32-megapixel front-facing camera has a lot of details and wide, which is nice. But I think the biggest surprise here is the night vision camera, which a lot of rugged phones are using. Of course, when you're camping at nighttime, you can see everything in the dark, so you will capture those really good images even in pitch black condition. Now, in terms of video recording capability, the rear camera can shoot up to 2K video, and the front-facing camera can shoot up to full HD. Here, I will give you some sample images and videos of 8849 hike. Alright, this is the vlogging test on 8849 hike. We're not testing the video stabilization yet. This is indoors on a controlled environment, sit-down vlogging test. So this is what it looks like. Full HD 30 FPS on this phone. Now let's go outside and check the video stabilization and the video quality both the front and the rear. This is the video recording sample on 8849 hike using the selfie camera in full HD 30 FPS. Now let's switch to the rear cameras. Now this is the video sample on 8849 hike using the rear camera again in full HD 30 FPS. Let's switch to 2K. Now this is the highest resolution in this phone on video recording using the rear camera. This is 2K. So this is the video samples on 8849 hike. The audio is pretty impressive on this phone, starting with the loudspeaker. We have a dual channel speaker on this phone, and we will focus more on the biggest and the loudest amongst the two, which is the loudspeaker at the back. I mean, the position is a bit funny compared to a regular smartphone, but once you put this phone on a desk, it creates this boombox effects that makes the sound even larger. If you need numbers, this is a 2 watts loudspeaker. Now this is the rear camera test, starting with the ultra-wide 1080p 30 FPS on Poco F7, and you got 4K 60 FPS on Nothing Phone 3. Again, you get what you paid for. Poco phone is a gaming phone. Also, if you need to maintain privacy, you can also use a 3.5mm headphone jack at the bottom. It is protected by a rubber flap, so if you need that headphone port, you need to open the flap, and you can play those music and videos on your high-fidelity headphones and earbuds. Or if you have wireless devices like Bluetooth speakers and earbuds, this phone supports Bluetooth 5.3. It is reliable and power efficient, so you can use those wireless devices while camping or outdoors. Now, aside from everything this phone offers, we also have additional features starting with NFC. It supports NFC, so you can do wireless payment. We also have the function buttons on the left side of the phone. Again, it's color-coded, red and gray. You can use this to open apps or features of the phone. By default, this is assigned to the functions like the super flashlight and camping lights. And that brings me to the third additional features of the phone, which is the flashlight. I think this is the main selling point of this phone. You have 2 bright lights that you can use for adventure. One is the camping light that can flood the whole place. And if you need the more focused beam light, you can use the super flashlight, and you have 3 levels of brightness. This flashlight go really far on my test. And lastly, talking about longevity, we have the battery life, and we have 23,800 mAh battery. With average to heavy usage, this can go as far as 1 week without charging. And if you're just using this phone casually, I mean on standby, this can go as far as a month without charging, and this will be beneficial if you're doing camping or travel adventure. Also, we have 120 watts of fast charging with charging block on the package. So if you need to top up the battery of this phone, it's really quick because of that 120 watt speedy charger. This phone also offers reverse wire charging. So just in case you need to power other devices, then you may do so. All in all, it's a very exciting smartphone from 8849. I mean, there's so many rugged phones out there, but if you need those basic functions that will not break the bank, this will support you in your travel and camping adventures. With its solid mid-range performance, huge 512 gigs of storage, dual stereo speakers, rugged build, long battery life, and those bright camping and flashlight, the new 8849 hike is built for extreme adventures, and yes, it is worth it.